maybe in stocks or whatever with someone's business, and then you keep hearing stories today, stories tomorrow, even though God said, but then you are discouraged.
Yeah.
Because that, and God Himself will just leave you and get somebody else because you've not built the character. So many of us, we just tend to just pray, God do this, but we're not listening on where He is pointing to, and this is very important. And so everyone watching as a business person, these are the take homes we need to leave with today's episode. Now we'll get to the next question. The next question is, as a business person, in the face of crisis, because I also know that in one way or the other, whilst running your business or in the process of your business journey, you have probably made some silly mistakes that were very costly or very minute, but give you a little bit of setback or stagnant a little bit. So, how did you navigate those parts? How did you get back on your feet? How did you get it right as a Christian businessman? I will hear from you, esteemed Isaac Omomide.
Thank you very much. You will agree with me that there's nothing you do on earth that doesn't have a challenge.
Yes.
Challenge in life is inevitable.
Yes.
Things you cannot avoid. Challenges do not start from we as a human being. It starts with God.
Yes.
Let me bring you back to how God created human. If you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 down, say God created, let's create man in our own image and in our likeness. He gives man the charge to dominate. There God built Garden of Eden for man. In all these plans, there was no challenge. There comes a time when God created woman for man. And the woman began to hear the voice of the serpent and ate the fruit. That was a challenge. The challenge came, and God knew that this is a challenge. God has to deal with that challenge precisely. If God has dealt with the challenge by killing Adam and Eve, I don't think this generation was seen today without Adam and Eve. If God desired to create another Adam and Eve, who would have not, because we were programmed in that first Adam and Eve that sinned.
Yeah.
Whether they have sinned or they did not sin, we were already programmed in their lineage.
Yes.
Now, if those Adam and Eve were created, we that are on this earth, more than 6 billion people on earth today would have not been on this earth. Would have been on that set of people.
Yes.
Now, God dealt with that challenge diplomatically by removing them from the Garden of Eden. He's positioned them. He was treating them with the degree of love they required so that they will not die. Because he has equally still programmed a superior Adam that will come and die for that sin.
Yes.
And that is what we are enjoying today.
Yes.
If you translate that to the business world, you as a businessman should know that in every business you are doing, in fact, if you are a very intelligent businessman, after building a business, you will know that challenge will come from this place sometime.
Yes.
You begin to program yourself and prepare yourself. In fact, that aspect that you are suspecting should be more of your prayer point to God. Should be more of your prayer point to God. And you see, challenges can equally still be averted spiritually. But the spirituality needs your physical intelligence. That is to say, any business you are doing, be well abreast with the latest techniques of doing that business.
Yes.
Do research, go to seminars, do workshop, ask questions about even the things you know, because you might know it in this area, you might not know it the other area. Like we do say, every time we come to church, whether Thursdays or Sundays, for every wise man who listens to Bishop Masego Egbe, there must be one new thing you must take home that concerns either you, your family, or your extended family. Now, if you begin to listen to seminars, begin to listen to messages and all that, you will know how to deal with challenges. But the basic thing is that so long you have set up a business, definitely know that a day will come when there will be a challenge. Yes. Now, for you to succeed in a challenge, look at the business and see which area are you lacking experience? That area that you are lacking experience might be the area where you might have challenges. For example, if you set up an Umba business or you set up a buying and selling business that involves finances and you are not an accountant, equally know that your accountant might give you, because your accountant might feel is a professional. My salary is too low. This I know you don't know. Why are you treating me like this? Challenges. Just know that one day challenges will come from there. But if you are a very intelligent CEO, you begin to do online on that area that is handling. Sometimes you ask him intelligent question. Before you do that 2 or 3 times, he will now realize that this, my Oga, is still equally grinded in this my area.
Yes.
So for some reasons that you are knowing something about that area, it will limit the challenge that will come from that area. Now, challenges in business is inevitable. As a businessman, if you have not gotten there, you will get there one day.
Yeah.
Put that at the back of your mind. Always be prayerful. That is why the issue of prayers is very, very important. One, the prayer might not help the challenges not to come, but the prayer will help you have a quick solution to the challenges.
Yes.
Because challenges in an organization or in any business is inevitable.
Yes.
So being prayerful and always studying about the business will give you a good edge to solve the challenges.
Thank you so much. And I think what he's trying to say is that as a business person, you must be on the go in knowing what the industry trends are and also keeping yourself equipped about every area of your business, whether it's the marketing, whether it's finance or production. In case it's a production business, you must be abreast with that. Or if you're doing buying and selling and you don't go, maybe travel to China, maybe you have someone who supplies you, you must have a first-hand knowledge of what it takes to actually buy directly from the manufacturers in China. Because like I said, challenges are inevitable. You may have a problem with that supplier tomorrow and then you become stocked because no supplies, because you have that. And so we want to say thank you very much. So we must always learn, unlearn, and relearn as areas that concern our business. So I'd like to ask the esteemed Engineer Blessing to give us just a few thoughts on this as we ask the last question for the episode.
Okay. During our men's convention, our father tagged it mental prosperity. And I was given a topic to teach about business matters. Now, why do I bring in mental prosperity? I bring it in because you need to align your business with mental prosperity, your mental well-being. Because we all know that business comes with stress, failures most time, pressure from our loved ones, from our staffs, and so many people. Business stress and failure in business is inevitable. That's the truth. So that's why you need that mental prosperity, not to rely solely on your business. Rather, when doing business, you have faith in God. That whatever comes your way with God, you can overcome it. And you have to be prayerful. You have to be really, really prayerful. My brother talked about making research about the business, being grounded on the business you are doing. That is very essential. But aside that, like he talked about prayer, you have to be very, very prayerful. In our present day world, as a Christian businessman, you need prayer. You need faith. When business is going well, you will be happy. But when business is not going well, it can cause depression. But if you have that mental prosperity, it will help you skate through that period of the ups and downs. Another thing again, you still need a mentor. Yes, you need a godly mentor.
Yeah.
Like our father, I will always refer people to our father, Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe.
Yes.
You need a godly mentor. Those times where your business is going well, also meet him. he will still give you advice
Yes.
to go forward.
Yes.
When you still encounter challenges, meet him, he will still guide you on how to avoid and come out from that challenges without it weighing you down. So in a nutshell, you need prayer, you need to have faith in God, and you need a mentor in doing your business. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. And now this is very important because I'll just cite an example to put flesh to what we have just discussed. Because you had said that we must pay attention to the spiritual angle as a business person, and you have also highlighted mentorship, which is very important. Now, the example I want to give is Dr. Cosmos Maduka. There was a time he ran into a huge loss. It was a debt in business, not his own business, because he stood as a shorty to the then late Ifeanyi Oba of Capital Oil for a bank loan. It was well over 21 billion naira. And it had interest recouped 500 million every month. So he said in one of the interviews he had that he had to fast for 1 year. He did 6 to 6 fast for 1 year, praying and getting directions from God on how to settle that debt. Because the debt was not, the loan was not acquired from the bank to fit into his own business, but it was acquired from the bank because he stood as a shorty to that fellow, it fell on him. So, but he was able to pay that debt, including the interest recouped on it, in a space of 1 year. And that was a huge feat. But he said he was able to do that because he fasted for 1 full year, 6 to 6. And so this says to every business person, because we're having a lot of spiritual laziness as business people, we tend to say that we have been very busy, and so we can't fast or we can't pray. And so the problem keeps compiling, eating the time, but we are not doing anything. So we want to say thank you for those thoughts. Now, finally, our final question for this episode is the place of spiritual mentorship, because you mentioned mentorship. And I would say this because when we had an engagement meeting with God's servants in Abuja, there was a young guy who had a business. It was an oil business, but consumable oil, not non-consumable. I think the vegetables and palm oil and all that. He had a farm, an oil farm in somewhere in the south. But then, when he met God's servant about it, God's servant gave him a profound counsel and directives on what to do. He was amazed because he was so shocked that God's servant had that depth of wisdom and strategy, which he did. And I think a couple of weeks later, it began to yield results. That's mentorship. And many people, especially businessmen, business people, and entrepreneurs, feel that it's them because they want to get the self-glory. They want to be known as that very great businessman who had built this empire here and there and not trace it to a mentor or a spiritual head. And so they tend to crash. Some rise, some fall, some rise, some fall. So what is the place? How important? What's the importance of spiritual mentorship? Spiritual mentorship, not just mentorship, but spiritual mentorship as a business person. I'll start with you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Like we all said, if when we started this thing, my brother established the role of prayer, spirituality. And I established the role of character and mentorship. And this, we are discussing business in the Christian world. There is no way you are going to be successful in business without spirituality. That is why it is of utmost importance to get a spiritual mentor. There is no business without spiritual mentor.
Yes.
For me, it's just like my brother said. He said that you are in this side or you are in this side. So since you are in the Christian world, you need a spiritual mentor for your business to flourish. You need somebody that is praying over your business, somebody that is giving you direction directly from God. Because a business that is not being directed by God will crash in no due time. Even when you started on a very fine note. Customers are coming, customers are coming, customers are coming. You need the spiritual mentorship to keep that business going. Without that spiritual mentorship, that business will collapse
That's true.
in a very short while.
That's true.
So the role of spiritual mentorship can never be overemphasized
Yes.
in our business as a Christian.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we'll hear your final thoughts, the esteemed Isaac Momedia.
Okay, thank you. When you see, some people say, I am a self-made man. That is foolishness of the highest order.
That's true.
Nobody can say, I am a self-made man. So you see, that phrase, I am a self-made man, is an arrogant from the bit of air. And that is a statement that crashes so many people.
Yes.
And that is the statement that will not make you go and take advice where necessary. No business under the surface of this earth that doesn't need a guidance. Even the president, that is the coordinator of a country business, actually sit back and call people to advise him.
That's right.
They call people to advise him. I will tell you for free, the last trip the President of America made to China with all the CEOs in America, it was an advice from the economic team of that country.
That's right.
That if you go alone, this is the hazard. If you go with these people, this is the benefit. The reason why so many businesses or so many government crashes, it is because they have this mentality that I'm a self-made man. I am wise. I have wisdom. If business are run that way, you won't have seen any surviving business. For any businessman who will be very, very sincere with you, he has a guide. Imagine a man I have known for decades, Bishop Master Golden Egbe. He have a father over him that gives him direction.
That's right.
Then who are you not to have a person who is directing you in any business you are doing? So for any business to strive and strive massively, you need a huge advice from, first, a very genuine man of God like Bishop Master Golden Egbe.
Yes.
Then two, you need an economist who is grounded in that area. And the reason why the business will grow above what you can imagine is this. Is a secret that I learned of recent. When you take advice from any economist, from the person who is well grounded in that field, take the advice, take the instruction, and come and put it before your spiritual head. Your spiritual head will analyze it and tell you the final direction. Because it is him that God will give the spiritual direction. And you know the spiritual controls the physical. So for any business to strive, in this hour, end time, it must be under guide and not be somebody directing it.
Thank you very much. We close with this because even in scriptures, Peter had toiled all night and they caught nothing. And Jesus came in and told him, cast your net to the right side. That spiritual direction, that mentorship, that guide gave him a bumper harvest that even his boat, himself, his staff, they were not even able to get of the harvest. They had to beckon on people from different ships, different boats to come and help them to catch that harvest. And that's what spiritual guidance and mentorship does. It gives you the direction that swallows frustration. Remember, people may labor, but they don't have results. But with spiritual counsel and direction, it becomes cheap. What people labor for comes cheap to you because there's a direction and there's guidance to it. When God guides you, you can never stumble, you can never fall. And that's our message to every business person who is watching this. And don't forget, you could always come to God's servant, Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe, and always watch his space and messages, because messages have a way of pointing you to the right direction. It's on Maxwell Golden Egbe on YouTube and Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe on Facebook. Hook up to his social media platforms. Get to hear the wisdom in his teachings. You could join the live streams on all his online podcasts and events, The Character, The Factory, Gospel Manager, where you have to ask some questions. Even as a business person, you could ask him those questions, and and he will give you guide. That's about mentorship. And so we are so glad that this came today, and we are so glad and grateful to everyone who is currently streaming this. If you want to get into business, remember you must first of all have the spiritual foundation. Do you have God's backing to start? And then have mentorship. Have someone who will guide you just before you start so you don't make mistakes. And also build yourself, build capacity, build character so that when you start, you are weighty enough to scale the business from where it is into where God wants it to be. And don't forget, business is not just about profits, it's also about purpose. I want to say thank you to the esteemed Engineer Blessing,
Thank you
Majay,
so
for being
much.
here. We were
you.
so blessed by your contributions, and
Thank
also
you.
the esteemed Isaac Omomudia. Thank you for always being here at our beck and call, and for the wisdom that you shared on today's episode. We can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. And this
welcome,
is
sir.
why I say that they are esteemed sons of this house. Not only are they flourishing in business, but they are championing the cause of God in the kingdom and also becoming worthy ambassadors of God's servant, the sent man himself, Dr. Maxwell Golden Abe. We wrap by saying a very big thank you to God's servant for giving us this privilege to bring this episode to everyone so that they could know, as business persons who are Christians, the right way to run business. Remember, this is On the Business World, and we'll see you again, same time, same station, and we can't wait to have you back. God bless you.